Morning, brothers and sisters. I wanted to come back on to let you know I have received all your prayer requests, and one by one, they are um, being prayed over in fervent prayer and being laid. I consider my prayer board, I envision it being at the feet of Jesus, and every time I put a prayer on, I pray and I write it on a card, and then I put it up on the board. So I feel like it's just being, it's in constant prayer. The word says pray without ceasing. So I have a bit of a um, headache right now, but I'm praying that that our Father just take care of it, and I'm just going ahead. Just gonna go ahead because I wanted to share this dream with you guys that I promised you from yesterday, the long one, or the longer one. And then I want to share with you the scripture that came from that. I have a brother that has online ministry, and he is filled with our Father's Spirit. He has such a beautiful heart. His name is Jose, and I had a dream where Jose was in the dream with me. We were in an office building. It looked like we may be on the second floor of this office building, and it was a wide open room, and it reminded me of the newsrooms where I just felt like I was in a newsroom where there's desks. One was kind of like an L, one was facing inward toward me, and the other one was coming from that direction facing inward. And Jose was sitting at the desk, at one of the desks, and there was other people that worked there. They just weren't around. We were in this room by ourselves at the time, but you could tell it was a large room, and there was a lot of news going on there. I almost felt in my spirit like this was the place where we were putting the word out, putting the news out about our Father. And so I was standing in front of his desk, and we were speaking, and this man came in. This dark-skinned man came in with a fancy, fancy suit on. The ones where they have like the matching color handkerchief with the tie and all the pins and tie pin and cufflinks and, just real fancy schmancy, And he was telling us, we were trying to warn him about not going where he was going. And he was planning on going and doing something he knew that he shouldn't do. It was a business-related transaction, and it involved, money, or maybe some kind of deception involving money that he knew it was a deception, but he was going to go, do it anyway. And I remember telling him, if you go and you park your car in that parking lot and you go in that building, you are going to be towed. And I thought that was, different things happen in dreams you don't understand until you wake up and pray about them. But I told him, I said, I'm warning you, you're going to be towed. And in the dream, I was like, am I working for a towing company? But it wasn't that at all. I just remember going, this doesn't look like a towing company, But I was telling him, we're warning you. We're warning you. You've been warned. Don't go there. Don't do that. And so then all of a sudden, I was outside the building, and I was in the air, just above the building in the parking lot where he was going. And I was looking down, and I saw him park his, looked like an SUV, in the parking lot, in the space. He parked in a space that was where the front of his car was in front, on the side of the building. And he went in. And I knew in my spirit, I'm looking down going, uh-oh, the Lord warned him. He's going to get towed. And he did. He got towed. And so I woke up, and I asked our father, I said, what was that? And he said, were we working at a towing company? What was that? And he said, no, what happens when you get towed? And I said, well, your car's, carried away on a tow truck. It's like you're carried away. It's like, okay. Um, so I really felt strongly about that carried away. Being carried away, and I thought like being carried away in diverse lusts, things that you want to do that is not right, that you do it anyway because if you have a spirit of greed or you have a spirit of just wanting to do something wrong that is not right. And so I was led to James. The first one is James 1:14. And I'm just going to read them. What does it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him? And that was actually James 2:14, but I was going to speak on that anyway, when we have faith and we don't have works. But verse 14 says, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. And then lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. And death, that is separation from our Father. Forever separated from our Father, I couldn't imagine the feeling of what that would feel like. But being carried away is also known as being, I looked it up, as being uprooted from their land. So in the Bible it also talks about being carried away to Babylon. Also it means in the Hebrew is being found uncovered, being found naked. And there's scripture that says that he comes, hold fast to what thou hast, or he comes quickly, and not to be found naked. That means don't be found in sin and things that we're all sinners. We're all sinners, and but things that intentional sin, when you hear his spirit in you and saying, do not do this, do not go there, and we go and do it anyway. And being removed from the presence and favor of the Lord. That just sounds so, I can't even imagine now that I have his spirit dwelling within me. It would be a very sad thing. But most people who don't have his spirit yet, and I say yet because I'm praying that they receive it, when they do receive his spirit, they will understand what I am saying, and those of you who have his spirit know exactly what I'm saying. I often think of how did I make it? How did I live without him dwelling within me? Yes, and life was pretty miserable without him, but it is not anymore. Also Psalm 137, verse 1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. They were carried away captive. They hang their harps upon the willows, for there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth. Sing us one of the songs of Zion. They were lamenting. They were carried away captive in Babylon, and they said, how shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? So, first of all, if you haven't received the Lord's Spirit, if you don't have him dwelling in your heart, you know whether you do or not. If you don't, and you're feeling lonely, if you ever feel feelings of loneliness or emptiness or void, or you try to fill your life up with things, All you have to do is call out to him and say, I want to know who you are. I need you because we're lost without him. So I think that one of the significance in the dream was, Jose and I were there in the newsroom, and we were what I call looked like a newsroom, reaching out for the lost sheep, and telling the ones that knew the Lord. This man that came in a fancy suit, he knew our Father, and he went and did what he did anyway, and that's pretty sad for him, because to be towed away or carried away is pretty serious. So if you don't know our Father, please, all of us are reaching out to you. We're reaching out in love. We in our hearts wish that no one perish, just like the Lord does. The Lord put that in our hearts, to be instruments, to be vessels that his light shines through. And I just pray that the love and messages that you receive from all of the ministers on YouTube, somehow someone touches your heart and leads you in the right way. I know not everybody on YouTube has is doing the right thing. They know, but we preach, we send a message of the mercy and love of our Father. And if you recognize the love in someone, that's where it comes from. It comes from him. So be strong. If you don't know him, just call on him right where you are right now and just ask him to come into your heart. Sincerely ask him. And I love you all. I appreciate all your messages on the last stream. The rods, measuring rods. Sometimes I miss those things. And also the fruits of the Spirit. There's gifts of the Spirit and fruits of the Spirit. So thank you, Ruth, for sending that in. God bless you all. You're in my prayer, and I love you. Bye-bye.